I mean it when I say I didn't really want to talk about today's topic. It's just some medium rare internet beef that I think is just kind of worthless to go over, but so many people keep bringing it up to me that I feel I should at least talk about it to some extent. So I'll go ahead and cannonball into the septic tank and doggy paddle around for a bit. The main topic involves a banned YouTube creator that I'm sure you've all heard of before. His name is Sneako. A lot of people compared him to like a diet Andrew Tate. He recently got banned, and he still does make content elsewhere. And recently, he started targeting me because I made jokes about his friends on the Fresh and Fit podcast, whom I think are beautiful clowns that do some very silly stuff that is entirely entertaining to make fun of. But Sneako didn't see it that way because he's a very sensitive guy, and he started writing their wieners to try and defend a blatantly outrageous story that one of them told about meeting a basketball player at a party, then being invited by that basketball player to a mansion and then fucking a ton of girls at that mansion thanks to the basketball player, which sounds like something a Tumblr account would have made up, and ending with "and everybody clapped." It was such a goofy piece of fan fiction, it felt like he was begging to be humiliated and made fun of, so I started throwing some balls at the clown and dunking them in the tank. I made a video talking and joking about it, and Sneako saw this and he wasn't too happy, so he got offended on his friend's behalf, which of course is a very alpha male thing to do. I know Sneako doesn't like that nomenclature. He never calls himself an alpha male and thinks that it belittles him, but his fan base is and has been red-pilled and thinks of him as like a no-nonsense kind of guy who tells it like it is, a man's man. And yet, Sneako cries more than a 12-year-old going through puberty and has very public temper tantrums like a child who didn't get the Spider-Man toy they wanted for Christmas. So he was upset because I was making fun of them. He then makes a big rant about me, calling me a bitch, saying all kinds of things. He doesn't really make any points, he just insults my appearance a lot and makes very bold assumptions about me not going outside and shit like that, which of course has nothing to do with anything I was saying, nor does it debunk any of my points. Not that I was even really making points, I was just making jokes about a silly fucking story, and he's taking it as if I just gave a TED Talk on monogamy, because for some reason he somehow gets lost in like this Winter Soldier episode, like this delusional fantasy, where he starts making a statement on monogamy, which of course had nothing to do with the video I made.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules. Someone could go and fuck a lot of bitches. That it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer.
What the fuck are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything? What does bringing up a picture of me and my girlfriend have anything to do with anything that has happened? And where is monogamy even coming from? You're fighting an invisible enemy right now. You're fighting ghosts that aren't real. Like, none of this had anything to do with the video itself of me joking about a stupid fucking story that this guy told. Like, it's so weird, and he's been mad ever since, as I understand it. I, of course, don't really watch him, but I keep getting updates on Sneako not being happy, wiggling his finger saying, I don't really like this Charlie guy anymore for this. Now, like I said, because so many people keep bringing this up to me every day, I felt obligated to at least, talk about this a little bit and engage with the drama, even though I don't really want to. What I do want to talk about, though, is the Black Friday Moist Global merch sale, baby. A lot of great merch on moistglobal.com is a lot of money off right now, so go to moistglobal.com to get some fucking beautiful items, and we even have some really fun, goofy ones that are in stock right now, such as this wonderful Happy Coat, which is kind of like a bathrobe. It's fantastic. And we also have some Yu-Gi-Oh! Inspired designs available right now as well, which are just fun items, and once all of these are sold out, they won't be restocked, so if you're at all interested, go to moistglobal.com, the link's in the description. I'm gonna keep this on for the rest of the video. The only thing I'm missing now is a cigar, so really get into character here. I'm gonna go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. I am pretty familiar with Sneako, probably more so than a lot of his more modern fan base is. I first became aware of his content when he got mad at me a couple years ago because I was criticizing a movie called Cuties. For those that don't know, Cuties was a movie that went to Netflix, and it was basically just softcore child porn. It was a movie that focused on twerking and a coming-of-age film that used real children in real positions of, like, sexualization, where during, like, a twerking contest, they'd have cameras that would go, like, right into their ass and zoom in. It was fucking disgusting stuff. And I made a whole video talking about how fucked up it is that not only does it exist, but Netflix has promoted it and it's on their service. Regardless of what the intention was or what the message aimed to deliver from the director, it completely missed the mark. By using real child actors and doing the things that they did in the film, it became a movie that was only enjoyed by legitimate, real, self-admitted pedophiles. And I made a video talking about how gross that whole situation was, and Sneako made a response to it saying that the outrage around this film is misplaced and it's actually a good movie.
Americans are like, this is deplorable. I saw this commentator, Penguinz0, who I actually like. There's not a lot of good commentators, but he's like, this movie is deplorable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing. And it's like he didn't even watch the movie. It's just like he only saw the clips that were going to piss him off. Or he just got so triggered by the provocative imagery that he just, deplorable. Come on, man. Like, don't you see the reasons why she's doing what she's doing?
Sneako has said multiple times, even in his most recent rant, that he does like my content. Though I'm pretty sure he just says that to cushion the blow and, like, tiptoe around it, like, before insulting me. Just in case there's anyone in his chat that likes my content, he wants to make sure to not make them upset. So he makes sure to preface it by saying, well, I actually do like him, but... and then goes on to get super personal about it. This was my first real exposure to Sneako, and it's also the reason I don't care what his opinion is of me, because it's coming from a man who likes cuties. So why the fuck would it matter if he thinks I'm a bitch or anything like that? It legitimately couldn't mean less coming from a guy who openly defends a softcore child porn production.
Okay, if I ever wanted to get canceled, this is the video. I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you. You got clickbaited. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now. And the people who are really mad about this aren't Gen Z.
Now, the reason I'm showing this isn't just to debate a multiple-year-old Sneako video that he completely ate shit on and had the worst possible take of with this whole cutie situation. The reason I'm showing this is because I haven't liked him since I saw this side of him. I was aware that he made other content, and apparently some of it was pretty good a couple years back, but once I saw this video, it just showed me a really weird guy who it seemed like really just wanted to be contrarian for the sake of it and makes terrible points in defense of this film for some reason. Like, even in your own video, you openly admit right there that yes, it sexualizes children. Full stop, that's not okay. That's a problem.
Like, this girl, at one point, she takes a picture of her vagina and posts it on Instagram. Kids naturally just rebel. I like this movie because it's extremely provocative, but it's realistic. A major criticism of this film was that it's child porn, that they were just showing these kids and that it's gonna bring a bunch of pedophiles in. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not more than anything else that's on the internet now, or not more than beauty pageants in America, which still exist and are exactly what you see in the film.
Do you go to beauty pageants to watch the kids, Sneako? I certainly hope not. Just because the beauty pageants, which are fucked up, completely agree, just because those exist in the real world doesn't mean that that's justification for this movie. I feel like that should be obvious. You can't use this whataboutism like, oh yeah, Cuties has a lot of sexualization of children, but what about, you know, child beauty pageants? I mean, those are out there in the real world, so what's wrong with Cuties being on Netflix? I won't show you any more from this video, it's dog shit all across the board, but there is one more thing I'd like to highlight. Even when Sneako started to rise to popularity, I didn't pay too much attention because, again, in my mind, he will always be that guy that for some reason fights for this film, which is just fucking weird. So he's always just been kind of a weird person to me that I don't pay too much attention to, but I couldn't help but take notice of one of his more recent viral clips where he openly defends getting cucked.
So I wanted to break this down, like, because this was, imagine seeing the girl you love, like,
get fucked.
You
love her?
Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her. I was about to say I love this bitch. I'm like, no, let me not say that. I love my wifey, my queen.
And you allowed the love of your life to get fucked by another man.
What happened to the other agreement?
I'm crazy.
The first time, as soon as I saw it, like 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked out. I'm just like, I can't do that. Like, feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her with another person. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think it's something everybody should do just to test. You know what?
It is a legitimately super sad thing to sit there and listen to, because Sneako is very clearly bothered by that whole situation, but is trying to play it off like a deeper message, like, no, this is actually a good thing, and in fact, I recommend every guy out there try letting their girl get fucked by another man. Then you'll know if it's real, if this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. It is fucking tragic to listen to. Now, I want to be clear, I have absolutely no problem with open relationships. I think everyone should be completely within the right to handle their relationships however they see fit and whatever makes them happiest. Contrary to what Sneako thinks about me, I have legitimately no issue with open relationships at all. But what Sneako's talking about here isn't so much an open relationship, it's cuckoldry. You have watched your girl get fucked in front of you on at least 2 occasions that he talks about here. And you were right next to her, watching her get fucked, and one time you were so upset about it you had to leave the room after the 3rd pump, you said. You're clearly not really alright with this situation. You're for some reason forcing yourself to be okay with it. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and be an armchair psychologist like you try to do against me during your rants, but it really seems like you don't like it. And yet, for some reason, you're also trying to celebrate it and promote it like a good thing. It's just super sad. Like, if you're fucking other girls and she's fucking other guys, that's one thing, but you being in the same bed that she is fucking another man in and watching her, and then even talking about how, like, upset you were about how much she was moaning and the deep eye contact she was making with the man she was fucking in front of you, like, you're not really okay with it, it sounds like. So stop trying to pretend to be, and stop trying to make it seem like this is a good, healthy thing for everyone that everyone needs to try. It's just pretty sad. So this is always in the back of my mind when he starts critiquing my relationship, or really any relationship for that matter. Like, what really gives you the right, especially when you're clearly in a very complicated situation in your own mind with your relationship? So, like I said, I didn't really want to talk about this, but he apparently keeps shitting on me and making a big hoopla about it, and people keep bringing it up to me, so I felt like I should at least address it in some capacity. So this is me talking about it, and that's about it. So yeah. Yesterday we were blessed with an action-packed evening of internet drama that had me on the edge of my seat for the better part of 2 hours. And I actually think there's something very important to discuss here, not so much with the soap opera itself between the two parties, but there was a little something that slipped during all of this that I think is a really big deal that I want to talk about. Now, I'll go ahead and break down the situation for you in case you weren't on Twitter, and if you weren't, God bless you, keep up the great work, you're doing amazing, champ. Now, it all started on Twitter, but it did spread to Twitch with competing live streams where one side was giving their take on the situation and the other side trying to debunk it. So, it spread like a virus, and it all started with a series of tweets from a content creator named Frosty. He came out with a series of tweets making big accusations against his former employer, 100 Thieves, basically just putting his ass in their face, making all kinds of big claims like them taking 95% of sponsorship deals, as well as a myriad of other problems that he had with the organization. I'm sure I don't need to explain who 100 Thieves is to you, they're one of the biggest names in gaming, but I'll go ahead and give you a brief lore recap just in case my grandma's watching and doesn't know who 100 Thieves is. 100 Thieves is a pro gaming organization started by a massive content creator named Nadeshot. They've been around for about 4.5 years now, and they have really taken the scene by storm. They have pro gaming teams as well as big content creators, and Frosty was part of one of their content creator teams called The Mob. The Mob sailed away from 100 Thieves some time ago, but Frosty has now come out with big claims against the org, talking about how shady and shitty they were. And in response to these tweets, Nadeshot, the founder of 100 Thieves, went live on Twitch to address the controversy directly. And I know Nadeshot doesn't own Arby's, but he brought the meat regardless. He spent about an hour and a half finally pan-searing Frosty's cheeks in front of 45,000 people. It was a pretty well done response to everything, and I do like Nadeshot. However, he said something and revealed something that a lot of people are writing off as okay when I don't think it should be. And that's the percentage that 100 Thieves takes of the sponsorship deals they bring to the creators. This is him debunking the 95% claim from Frosty.
That we took 95% of their sponsorship deals that we brought to the mob. That is unequivocally, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, untrue. It is absolutely untrue. There is no basis for Frosty to say this. At one point, I have an email that the key terms of these deals that we bring to the mob we would retain 85% of revenue. We did 3 deals for them, and all 2 out of the 3 deals, they took home 65% of the revenue from that deal. Okay, 65% of the revenue from that deal.
To me, that's not an amazing look. This is entirely wrong. This is the biggest load of fucking horseradish I've ever seen in my life. I don't know where this 95% number is coming from. It's actually 85. You know, like, that's not much better. Wiggling your finger, well, actually, it's 85% that we'll take up to. Now, Nadeshot, of course, does go a bit deeper into the weeds of it, saying that they did end up giving 65% to the mob for, like, one of their deals in particular, which was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with 120 grand, which means 100 Thieves took 80 grand. They got 35%. And that's still an outrageous amount. I have seen so many people defending this number, saying shit like, well, they wouldn't have had the sponsorships without 100 Thieves, so they're entitled to 85%. And they were generous enough to only take 35%. That is a fat, stinky L of a take right there. That kind of naive mentality is exactly why so many creators have been getting fucked in the face for the last 10 years online. Most creators, professional gamers, streamers, whatever, are pretty young, and they don't realize that they shouldn't be signing contracts that have something that extreme in them, like up to 85% we can retain from sponsorships. Even if it said like 35%, that's still a glaring red flag. They don't realize they're being exploited like that. Now, I don't think Nadeshot is doing this maliciously. This is just how the industry has been for about a decade, where the big businesses know that these people are young enough to not make a big hoopla about the sponsorship cut that they take. Because to them, they're just making content, doing what they love, and getting some free money on the side because a company's finding ads for them. And then they'll take the lion's share of the ads when really they shouldn't. I think that's an absolute load of fucking dirty barnacles. You know, that's absolute fish paste. So, I don't think Nadeshot's doing this from a place of, like, evil or greed. I'm pretty certain this is what he's always seen in the industry since he's been in it so long, but that's not the way it should be. I've talked about this a lot. I started a company back in 2018 with Matt. I even made a whole video talking about it publicly. It's called Human Media Group. It's a management company where we manage hundreds of creators, some of the biggest names on the platform. We bring them brands, ad deals, campaigns, all that stuff in order to help them stay monetized and make a living out of the content they love to produce. We started it because of this being the industry norm. I made a lot of deals on like the podcast as well as personally that were really predatory, and I didn't know any better. So over time, I learned with Matt, and we started this company to try and help my friends, and then it grew into just helping any and all creators. And with Human Media Group, we take on average 15% of sponsorship deals we bring the creators. But sometimes we'll even go as low as 10%. So between 10 and 15% is the cut we take from the sponsorship deals we bring to them. And that should be the norm. You should never sign something or agree to do business with someone that's going to be taking 35 or 85%, allowed 85% in the contract. That's disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. The absolute maximum you should be okay with is like 20%. That is the most any agent or company should ever possibly even toy with taking from the sponsorship deals. And I do understand the take people keep tossing around and regurgitating like a fucking mama bird feeding the baby bird, just vomiting it into each other's mouths. The take of, you know, they wouldn't have the sponsorship deals without 100 Thieves. You're right, but that doesn't mean they're entitled to 85% or even 35%. They're not doing the bulk of the labor. The onus is on the creators. They're doing the heavy lifting. The reason the sponsorship deal's there at all is because the creator is there, and they're buying the slot from them. What 100 Thieves is doing, or what any management company does, is they facilitate that deal. They negotiate, they get the terms, and they bridge that. They bridge the deal. You can find deals on your own as a creator. You know, you can reach out to companies yourself. Sometimes companies even reach out to you. The reason why 100 Thieves or any management company at all exists and is effective is because most big brands don't reach out to individuals and don't accept people individually. They will take their ad campaign and their marketing spend to agencies or companies that have a big roster, and they'll buy bulk. They'll say, we have this campaign for this demographic and we want this many viewers. Who do you have for us? And that's when the company will provide you, if you're part of their roster, like 100 Thieves, they'll throw your name in there, and if they say yes, then you've got the deal. It's not like they're doing anything that entitles them to such a crazy cut of the sponsorship deal. It's just a pretty ludicrous notion. Yes, the companies like 100 Thieves or any management company does have access to brands that individuals won't, But still, it doesn't mean that they should be taking such a crazy amount from you either.
One of those deals, they made $30,000 each. It was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with $120,000, I believe it was. Okay? And what you don't understand is that we have to employ a partnerships team that needs to go out and source these deals. Then you have account management that handles, once that deal is sold, account management coordinates with everybody else within the company, whether it's marketing, whether it's content, whether it's a deal that is done with talent. And we have to incur labor expenses to make these things a reality.
All of those things he mentions there, Human Media Group also has, and I assure you 15% is still profitable. It's plenty. It's not as profitable as 35 or 85%, but it is plenty. It's not necessary to be taking such a high cut of those sponsorship deals. Now, I do understand that 100 Thieves is not a management company first and foremost. They are a professional gaming organization. They have content creators, they have pro gamers. I understand that, but they do have that management arm clearly since he's mentioning this team. So I know that 35% is still outrageous. And I do get the argument that will inevitably be made that they only have like 20 creators they're getting sponsorship deals for, whereas Human Media Group has hundreds. So, you know, just going by scale, taking 15% of hundreds of deals is more profitable than taking 15% of 20. And that's a fine argument to make, like I get it. However, those 20 creators that 100 Thieves has are massive. He mentions a $200,000 deal. That's one campaign. If you took just 15% of that, that's 30 grand from a single marketing campaign with a single member of the 100 Thieves community there. One single group. That's a great take home. It's not as much as the 80 they did take home, but 30 is plenty. So I just completely disagree with all the people defending this 85%, which I think is indefensible. But even the people defending the 35%, I just think that is still excessive, and we need to get past this idea that the companies that are getting the sponsorship deals are the ones that deserve the biggest cut of it or a massive cut of it, because that's just not how it should be. It should be the creators getting the bulk of that deal, because the deal is there because the creator is there in the first place, right? Like, it's just, we're getting it backwards now. We're starting to go in reverse here. So I just wanted to get that point across, that I think 100 Thieves, if it's 85% for all their creators, is outrageous, or even 35%, it's way too high. Now, I do want to go into a bit more just to conclude the entire situation here with the drama. I think overall, Nadeshot came out of this looking significantly better than Frosty. One of the big claims Frosty made is that they were completely broke when they were signed with 100 Thieves. They were forced to move to West LA, and their salary didn't enable them to like have any quality of life, talking about like having to skip meals sometimes to pay rent, and that they were living in a $10,000 a month house. And that is true. According to Nadeshot, they did get encouraged to go out to West LA. However, they chose the $10,000 house. And even on Frosty's own stream, he tried to make a point saying West LA is so expensive that, you know, all we could do was take a $10,000 house. But then he goes on Zillow and immediately proves himself wrong, just spits in his own face. He brings up other cheaper alternatives. There were some for like 5 or 6 grand a month as opposed to 10K a month. So they were cheaper alternatives where they didn't have to dump their entire salary into rent. But overall, I don't think they should have been forced to go to LA in general. No one should be. LA sucks. I fucking hate LA. I'm just not a fan. I think it's way too expensive. Their salaries were $2,500 each, and that doesn't go a long way in LA, so I don't think they should have been forced to go there anyway, but they did make a mistake choosing such an expensive place to live. Nadeshot said it was their choice to live there, and it was. He confirmed that there were cheaper alternatives that they didn't even consider, I guess. So overall, a lot of the responsibility fell on Frosty, and a lot of these claims seem to be baseless. But it's a lot of just he said, she said. But again, I think Nadeshot came out of this looking much better. I think he did a great job of defending himself, and Frosty kind of made a fool of himself, especially towards the end where he said this.
You literally provided no proof? Bro, because for me to provide proof, like, what is there to provide proof of? Like, why would I be lying? Like, I would have to show text messages. Like, this is what I mean, bro. This is why I wanted to wait.
You were the one that made the claims. You should have, like, something, I would expect. And what do you mean there's no reason for you to lie? You have plenty to gain out of lying. Well, you know, clout. You got, what, 30,000 concurrent viewers during your stream debunking it? And you hadn't streamed in 3 months, and before that we're averaging a couple hundred? Like, there was so much to gain out of a controversy like this. There's plenty of incentive to lie. At the very least, Nadeshot was open and honest about things, even something as bad as the 85% of the sponsorship deal thing. Nadeshot also pulled up metrics to talk about like how they weren't doing content and certain things. Nadeshot did come with receipts as well as like actual evidence to back up what he was saying to defend the company. Frosty spent the whole stream just saying stories and like talking about things in a roundabout way. A lot of times it just seemed like straight up entitlement, like he was expecting them to bend over backwards to do everything to make them happy at all hours of the day. And so the stream didn't go super well for Frosty. I don't think he did a great job of like proving his claims. Maybe he'll come forward with like actual evidence to support these things in the future, but for now it does look like Nadeshot like did the best here in this situation. I just wanted to talk about mainly the sponsorship thing, since that's what I took a big issue with, not so much the drama between the two of them. So that's really about it. So yeah, let's ride.
All right.
You can hop on the couch if you want, Caleb.
Can I hop on the lap?
We're watching a guy go wild.
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house. Your
How did I get an ad?
Your sister, your brother's computer, and install.
I love you, Mr. Beast, but I'm skipping
Hi,
that ad.
everyone. I'm the act attorney here. What a pleasure it is to meet all of you today. I am so thrilled and excited. Never gonna be doing something like that again.
You guys literally sound like
abuse victims, right?
So I would say this game is for somebody they have no family, no friends, no life. I'm not sorry. I don't like Elden Ring players. They're nasty people. The players are losers. And you want to literally just start rolling with all these claims and accusations.
I'm sure he'll cover it, but I'll still give you like a brief overview. So this all started because this guy made a video saying like Elden Ring sucks or something, and he hates everyone that plays Elden Ring. So Actman made a video about like the worst take in Elden Ring. Yeah. And this guy got so offended he like copyright struck him, or tried to like abuse copyright, and it didn't work, and he went on like some kind of like crazy religious meltdown and made like thousands of fucking posts. It was wild.
Look at what you're doing.
God, this editing is next level. Whoa.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Maybe that's why you don't have a ring on your finger. Maybe that's why your kids aren't around you. Because maybe there's something wrong with you. At the end of the day, go kill yourself. Because maybe there's something wrong with you.
The game that's not for everyone isn't the game that should be made.
Maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe there's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Maybe there's some.
Whoa, hold on.
Going too fast.
Maybe there's
We're
something wrong
blasting
with
right
you.
through the lore.
Maybe there's.
You literally, man, this guy really does say literally a lot, even when texting. You literally stole my video footage with an illegal video downloader. Bro, I guarantee you just used OBS to screen record it. Take this video down and remake it with all the stolen footage and without my likeness in your thumbnail. I own the sole copyright to the Quantum TV brand and all its imagery assets. Failure to remove the stolen content will result in a takedown. I've already formally filed against you, but don't want to copyright strike you. I just want my assets removed, so I'm giving you a heads up. I don't mind criticism, just don't go stealing videos from my channel. That isn't going to fly. It's a violation of YouTube terms of service to use third-party software to acquire someone's videos, and you're risking your channel with stunts like this. Only warning, man.
Only a warning.
Damn it. This guy's going in. This guy's like literally fucking butts right now with copyright.
What a douche canoe.
Yeah, wrong with you.
Maybe there's something wrong with you.
That's fine. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was Facebook.
I show you just how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Court is now
Whoa,
in session.
shit.
A false
The fuck
copyright
is that
strike
rolling
and
up like a
takedown
prom?
request was recently filed against my channel. Take a guess by who? Matt Haas. Nope. Derek Savage. Nope. Quantum TV.
You guys want to have your fun with Quantum TV? Have your fun at this point. I mean, I'm kind of amused by this. I'm not gonna lie.
So you think it's funny?
What is his name here? The Act Man? Never heard of you. And we're going to go over your so-called hot takes, which contains a lot of stolen
The music
footage.
kinda
And
slaps.
which, by the way, I'll look into my options around getting that taken down.
Any further attempts to falsely copyright strike my channel will be met with a counter lawsuit in which I will clean you out.
When you start talking fair use, you are
That's pretty
opening
hard
your
line
back
stance.
because You're telling the copyright
And I like his
owner,
odds.
Fuck you.
Mudahar made a great video summing up the ramifications and what is actually at stake.
Again, once you file this claim, somebody else can counterclaim you, and then it becomes a legal issue. If it turns out that you're
True.
actually abusing this for your own benefit, just
I
a
am
high
curious. Do you think a
criticism-
case has ever actually gone to court though for delegation? I feel like it never does, even if you do counter. Like they say it's supposed to be a legal matter, but it almost never is. It's usually just like, oh, I got countered. I'll just counter again.
Yeah.
And then you counter again and again and again through YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I guess H3H3's did. That's true.
But his was off platform. Like after the strike, he immediately went to court, I think.
Well, yeah, that's all it says when you counter. It doesn't. It's not like YouTube hosts it. It tells you.
I see.
Like your next step is to file a claim.
Do you remember? We can share this story now, right? Like the
Pizza Hut one?
Yeah, the statute of limitations is probably expired.
Yeah, I think we're good.
This fucking guy. You may remember a long time ago on my channel, I had a video making fun of the Pizza Hut training video from the 80s. One fucking dude, he was a cameraman who filmed that, took down the video and threatened legal action because he said he had the rights to everything Pizza Hut related to that fucking video because he held the camera.
That was literally like my first week that I worked with you.
Yep.
And you were like, hey, can you handle this guy? And he was like 95 years
Oh
old.
my, the dude, he had a website that was straight GeoCities.
Oh yeah. What was it was straight up Zynga, like that old school, like neon lines running across it. It was so bad.
God, that guy was an absolute nightmare. I immediately just folded. I was like, bro, I will just take down the video.
Yeah,
just get
it
rid of
wasn't
the.
worth it.
Yeah, just get rid of the strike. I'll take the video down. He's like, nope.
Oh,
nope.
it
I
was
will
so
not do
fucking
that.
stupid. We should put the video back up and take him to court if he tries to do it again.
Yeah, fuck, man, fuck that guy. He doesn't own Pizza Hut. He held a camera.
He cannot prove that that's his.
He
because
is.
It's not.
He is pretending to be the owner of the Pizza Hut footage just because he was one of the camera guys.
Yeah, we're not scared anymore. We were new back then.
Yeah.
We'll take him all the way.
I was just too green.
Yep.
Now I'm willing to meet him in court.
Law, okay? That includes fair use dealings, fair use law. If you were to take this video to a fucking courtroom, the
Thanks,
judge
Resub
would say,
Notorious.
"This
Hey,
is
Jubilee
fair use,"
refugees.
okay?
Sorry to hear X
Even
is
though
watching
fair use is a
Jubilee.
gray area.
You know,
But
normally
welcome.
reacting or commentating on someone else's video as part of a critique falls under fair use. And generally speaking, pretty much
It's a meme on Twitch. So XQC will watch Jubilee and the chat fucking hates it. So when he watched Jubilee, some viewers will just like
We'll
leave.
just come to you and
They'll just go
that's
some,
amazing.
go somewhere else. They call them Jubilee refugees. It's fucking great. It's like XQC's version of raiding. So he doesn't do like an official raid, but he'll turn on Jubilee and he'll just like disperse viewers all over the platform.
That's
like a reverse spirit bomb.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's so sweet. I think he does it on purpose, just being a nice guy.
Some people might ask, well, why are you making this video? Why are you giving him exposure? I understand your concerns, but this affects the entire YouTube platform. By the way, he's not gaining much of a following or viewership from all of this controversy.
I know, he's
And
kinda
my
popping
end
off.
goal is the termination of his YouTube channel.
That's
for
bold.
routinely abusing
Oh, wow.
copyright,
He's going for the
violating
throat.
terms of service, and the YouTube community guidelines.
And there are all these people saying that I falsely attacked some young kid. Everybody loves to put his age out. The moment I mention it, why are you so obsessed with his age? I don't care, he's a minor. Leave it alone.
For some reason,
did he
he's
attack a
really
kid?
obsessed with the age of Mischief.
Like, nobody gives a shit about his age. He's being a piece of garbage. People like Mischief, who apparently is a young child. Maybe Mischief's mother might want to get in on this. What? All the negative press you've seen on me is because I reviewed a game once, didn't like it. Some 16-year-old kid picked it up. This is said 16-year-old. 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid from the UK. Mischief, the 16-year-old kid. You're not some young 16-year-old
He really
kid on
does
the
seem
internet. There
fixated
was
on
a
that
16-year-old
age.
Kid. This kid. He's a 16-year-old. There's a 16-year-old kid. Some 16-year-old kid on the Mischief is the chief orchestrator.
I don't know why you would highlight that when you're making an argument, just to
Yeah.
keep bringing up that they're 16. Like
bullying a 16-year-old.
like if I was to fight someone, I would only fight a child, like a
Right.
12-year-old, and I would likely win. But I would never say I beat a
Yeah,
child.
no.
I'd be like, I went to
I
war.
won a fight.
I won a fight.
Yeah.
I'm an undefeated fighter, 1-0.
Yeah, how old was that other fighter?
We don't like. No one
I
needs
don't
to
know.
ask.
Yeah.
Like, I would never bring that up
All you
willingly.
need to know is he had fists too. So, 2 of them, might I add. There were 2 of them.
Oh man, he's going full anime villain here. I'll have a judge explaining the 4 characteristics of fair use, which determine fair use case law. Shake my head. Damn.
Let's give a shout out to Mischief.
You know, that is a great idea, Quantum. For once we agree on something, everybody go subscribe to Mischief. Let's get him to more subscribers than Quantum TV so we can see
Yeah,
who
I
the
wanna see
real
it.
Yeah, wait, how did that work?
YouTuber
So this has
is.
been
Wouldn't that be a
This is a day old. Let's see what Mischief is at. He's gonna be at like 1 million.
Oh no, Mischief.
Oh,
Mischief.
Oh, wait, you're right. Yeah.
88.9K.
Wait.
Ooh.
Yeah, just Mischief.
That's huge.
Oh, that is so nice.
Wait, now I want to see Quantum.
I'd hate to bully such a small creator, you know?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Quantum's at 65.
Oh no, Quantum. Does he have fans? Like, do people defend him? I wonder.
I can't imagine.
The power of an apology. Oh, no. Is he rolling over?
No.
No. He's too strong for that.
This is Quantum.
This has to be
No.
Today we're gonna clickbait, right?
Yeah, that's definitely clickbait. Quantum's never said I'm sorry in his life. Now Mischief's gonna be punching down every time he makes a joke about Quantum.
You know, the craziest part is his normal content is reviewing
technology.
TVs.
Yeah, it's technology based. And then for some reason he came out of nowhere saying like, if you play Elden Ring and like it, you're going to hell. He also treats the YouTube community tab like it's Twitter.
Oh lord.
He posts so often on here. Let me see if I can find that quick religious post he made about how everyone that doesn't like him is actually a Satanist. He was talking. Oh, he made a post. This one was so fucking weird. He made a post saying that people that don't like him have homosexual rituals where they have sex with their dad and practice Satanism. It was so fucking unhinged.
That's pretty cool.
He posted it in the community tab too, which means his subscribers got a notification with him saying that.
Oh god.
I wonder where that went though, because I didn't see it. It was a few days ago. It's on Actman's Twitter, is it? Let me see. This shit was crazy when I read it.
What an obtuse ass insult. Homosexuals that have sex with their dad. Like, what if you have sex with your dad and you're not homosexual? Like, what?
Oh, here, yeah. I guess it was a Discord post.
Satanist in the sky.
Every time I watch one of their videos, you can tell they're trying to brainwash the masses into their gay, liberal, satanic, atheist agenda. 1 minute someone could be watching Stop the FOMO, and the next minute they start having anal sex with their dads, doing coke, and trying to conjure demons with satanic rituals. Satanic influence isn't a joke. Bro, this guy's fucking wacky. This is what happens when you don't like Elden Ring. This is what you become.
We found the one.
Yeah. This shit was he had more posts like this in the community tab, but I guess they're gone. He was going hard though. Like
That's just
really on it. Like Chuck Tingle shit where he's talking about like having sex with dinosaurs or something for the sake of disrespecting God.
What's funny to me
You
is
don't know Chuck Tingle?
No.
Ace Attorney Bigfoot at Large?
Oh. What?
He's using God's name in vain to say that he hates other people. He just doesn't.
It's true. Hey, don't poke holes in his worship. Everyone loves the Lord in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these people are going to hell and suffer for eternity. They need an ass kicking from some Christians. Also, all the troll comments from satanic atheists are getting banned. All the satanic gay atheist people accusing me of being a coward for deleting my video, I only had to delete them because of YouTubers' gay agenda instead of people getting upset at me. Why don't they just let me be? Oh my god, this shit is so fucking crazy.
So he's extremely unhinged.
Yeah, this guy was reviewing TVs just 1 week ago. Can you believe that?
So you're saying because I fucked my dad, his channel's going down?
Because they're all heterophobic, anti-Christian pieces of shit. I don't want to participate in the anal sex the liberal people tell me to. I love to imagine, like, every day there's people knocking on his door trying to, like, bargain anal sex, just trying to convince him.
It's like, God, stop.
I'm not gonna do it!
I think he's just projecting. Maybe he just wants to fuck his dad.
Maybe he's, like, really wanting anal sex but can't find the right excuse.
Of YouTube.
Isn't it funny when people try to call you a bigot and a homophobe when they're literally exactly what they're trying to accuse you of being?
Look at you. Literally look at what you're doing.
It's rich watching you try to paint me as some sort of bigot as you literally are one.
He put up very, very hateful things towards the LGBTQ community, and I'm not just talking mean words. He actually wished death on them. Wishing death upon someone is another story. I seriously question your sanity.
Thanks for some
This is
cricket
what
and
Quantum
Chase.
TV wrote back.
Hey, Chase.
They deserve it. The world is better off without them forcing their lifestyle on it. These are your accounts that you had linked on
Damn,
your
this guy's
YouTube,
really... He's
but
going
all of a sudden
wacky.
that
He's
you're
posting
not
cringe on
responsible
main.
for them.
God. Well, case closed.
Mr. TV,
He's innocent.
Would you please read the words on your channel
Thanks
banner?
for some
The #1 brand in honesty. Well, it should say the #1 brand in lies.
Take that!
If your accounts were hacked and compromised, then why were these horrible offensive things left on your account after you regained control of it? Why is there no history or post we can refer to of you mentioning the hack back in 2018? Unless these accounts were under the hacker's control for the last
editing is
4
fucking
years.
so laughing.
That's not the case either, because you're racist, and I don't use any of these words lightly. David, fuck you and your hate speech against me. Calling me homophobic because I'm anti-gay support is all you liberals do. I'm pretty sure being
Isn't that like
anti-gay
the definition
is
of
homophobic.
homophobic?
I've never pushed or forced my sexuality.
So confused.
What?
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
like-
racist. I'm just anti other races.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Propaganda. Black Panther is racist and only the most hateful blacks like it.
Holy
Yes,
shit.
hello? What are the symptoms of brain damage?
Place for anybody else, okay?
There is one thing no community on YouTube
Yeah, I watched
tolerates,
Pound
and it's a
today.
copyright
We all did.
abuser.
I don't care about your opinion, dude. I care about the fact that you're nuts and you're toxic to this community.
Yeah, this is like the Jussie Smollett of fucking YouTube. 100%. That's the perfect description.
Is your funeral?
I suggest you make peace with whatever content you wish to publish on your channel before you see this screen again. And Quantum,
I hope it
gonna
goes to
see
court.
It again. I may not be able to offer
think that'd
a
be
cure
great.
for narcissism, but hopefully by shattering this
Imagine the
false
judge loves
reality and
Elden Ring.
sense of yourself, then perhaps maybe
Oh, that
whatever
was huge.
spell you're under, you will wake up from it. It's such a
Ask him
shame.
if he wants to,
And I was planning on asking you about this new
plead
TV I was
insanity.
interested in.
Oh, I thought that was saying it already happened.
No.
Wait, the video wasn't published yet.
Damn. What a thorough deep dive.
And deep down, everyone's as ugly as you.
Jesus. So what was his video then with the apology thing? So what is this then if it's not like an actual video?
It's just a podcast.
Does he
What's
speak?
going on, everybody? Welcome to the Quantum TV podcast. So today we're going to talk about some things I've learned. Oh yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. This last month has been very entertaining, to say the least. I've learned quite a few things. For example, I've learned if you wake up on a Thursday afternoon, just, roll out of bed after using a bunch of slurs on Twitter, you can just hop online and apologize and everything goes away. Because you have a bright future ahead of you, or maybe you were a kid that is just having a bad day.
Man, this guy
Everybody's gonna
talks in
forgive
like the most annoying fucking way. He talks as if he's giving like a presentation in
He
class.
sounds like a really smarmy youth pastor.
Yes, smarmy is a good word for it. Like very like smelling of his own
Yep.
farts kind of thing.
100%.
Like I got a 15 on my ACTs, which was like above 50 percentile, so I feel good.
Like he literally takes like a wine glass, he sips, he's like, "You smell the four legs, child."
I don't want to listen to 26 minutes of it. I'm assuming there's no apology. I couldn't fucking tell you. Welcome to the Splash Zone. I'm just going to cannonball into the pool right away here because this story's got me heated. I am boiling right now. On YouTube, there is one unforgivable sin, an unwritten rule that every creator and user is aware of. It's kind of like a treaty, a truce that we've all shaken hands on and accept because it is inexcusable, slimy, and anytime someone tries to take a bite of the forbidden fruit, they rightfully get their cheeks disciplined. A very firm spanking from the whole community, and most of the time they end up pretty much losing their career from it, from their own self-destructive narcissism and greed. That is false copyright strikes. And unfortunately, that's what we're talking about today. A big YouTube channel named Magnates Media is facing termination because he received 3 fraudulent copyright strikes from another YouTube channel named Business Casual, aka Alex Edson. Now, Alex Edson is a special fucking malicious goofball. You see, this guy didn't even build the Business Casual channel from scratch or anything. He bought it when it was already extremely popular. So he didn't even put the fucking work in, which is an absolute goober move off rip. But you've probably heard of this channel recently because he had a viral video talking about why he's suing YouTube. And while there is some compelling points and evidence, there's also a bunch of dirty barnacles in here as well, with some shady claims and some claims that were just absolutely wrong, like provably false. But overall, like the video did have a lot to it, which is why it was so popular, and it was well put together. It was high production and made some good points and some not so great points. But overall, it was kind of odd. And a couple YouTubers actually pointed out a lot of it. In fact, Upper Echelon made 3 videos kind of covering all of it, which I think make very good points. Overall, the whole thing was odd, if nothing else. And now Alex is back from the septic tanks, he's risen from the sewers like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he's bringing bad news. He's striking down Magnates Media with what I and anyone with a functioning cerebral cortex will classify as blatant abuse of the copyright systems. So, he's issued 3 strikes to Magnates Media, which sets his channel up for termination in the coming days. He's already received a notice that his channel will be taken down because of these strikes from Business Casual. Let me just lay down the brass tacks here with the level of lunacy we're dealing with these claims. So, Business Casual is basically taking away Magnates Media's entire livelihood because he believes that some of his content looked similar to his based on an editing technique called parallax editing. So he struck him 3 times for 3 separate videos. The total content time of those 3 videos is over an hour and a half long. And of those 3 videos, in total, 10 seconds, roughly 10 seconds worth of footage, Alex is saying belonged to him. So in one of the videos, it is actually just a single image that lasts for like 3 seconds, and he's saying that he stole it directly from his video because the parallax editing technique was a dead giveaway. But Magnates Media has proven beyond a shadow of doubt that not only is that image a public domain image, because they were covering a similar topic, so of course they're going to have similar images because it's a fucking public domain image. So he proved it's a public domain image and that the parallax editing technique was done by his editor. And he has like a 16-minute video showcasing his editor doing the editing on that photo to prove he didn't take it from Business Casual. And they don't even look similar in any of these cases, but this is how outrageous Alex Edson's claims are. In total, about 10 seconds he has a problem with, saying that it looks similar to his work, thus it must have been stolen, and he has a right to terminate this channel. And Magnates Media channel will be terminated because of these 3 strikes as of right now. He's already received the notice that it's coming. It's right around the corner. That is fucking frightening and just downright evil from Business Casual. Upper Echelon made an incredible video going over this entire subject from top to bottom, inside and out. I highly recommend checking out that video. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. He does an amazing job breaking it all down thoroughly, as well as some other incredibly fucked up things Alex has done.
If you read the other provisions of the DMCA Safe Harbor, Section 512, it's clear that Congress did not want parties to have to sue to enforce their rights. So while it may be that the system could be gamed on the other side, that's how Congress intended it to be. End quote. That right there is Business Casual arguing that simply because he filed some strikes, it therefore means that YouTube needs to terminate the entire channel without him proving anything in a court of law. That's what we just read, and that appears to be precisely what he's doing now to a channel named Magnates Media.
What he was reading there comes from a completely different case, but just hearing that is beyond alarming. That is fucking chaos. That is the opening of Pandora's box in the worst way imaginable. So Alex Edson is an actual villain, and what he's doing here is completely unjustifiable. This is beyond fucking tragic. There's absolutely no argument he nor anyone could make on his behalf that would justify him taking down an entire channel, ruining the entire career and livelihood of that creator based on similarity of public domain images. Now, they made videos on similar topics, obviously. They did do that, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like Alex owns that whole topic or anything. And Alex even made a bold claim that Magnates Media stole his scripts from his videos, which is so laughably delusional. I imagine he was twirling his little evil mustache when he made that claim, because Business Casual's videos on the same content as Magnate Media is like 19 minutes, 20 minutes long sometimes. Magnates Media coverage is like 50 plus minutes long. So Magnates Media does a much more thorough breakdown and deep dive on everything than Business Casual, so how the fuck would he have stolen any of the scripts? But even still, Magnates Media played ball with it. He tap danced with the claims and still proved his innocence by showing all of the timestamps of the editing done to his script from fucking start to finish. Alex tried to claim that he stole his scripts and plugged it into ChatGPT to generate a somewhat different script while still maintaining his video's DNA. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just using random buzzwords in his stupid little smooth brain. That's so laughable. What a fucking joke of a person. And it's sickening to see him do this to someone he views as competition. That's the only explanation I can think of for why he'd even target this channel. There is absolutely no justification or argument someone can make that would convince me that what Alex is doing here is just, and he has a right to do so. If there really was an issue where he felt like these images were stolen, like, oh, you took this image that my editor worked hard on editing, he could have reached out to Magnates Media. And Magnates Media has said multiple times on Twitter that he has tried to reach out to Alex himself to try and resolve this whole situation amicably. But Alex isn't responding. He's giving the cold shoulder, fucking full radio silence. But you could have reached out and said, hey, can you remove that? Or some other different solution that doesn't involve striking. That is the nuclear option. That is the harshest punishment that you can dish out. And it's highly unnecessary here when all of the offending content that you believe is too similar to yours only accounts for 10 seconds out of over an hour and a half worth of content. That makes no sense. It's fucking ridiculous, and it's shameful. It is beyond shameful. Another YouTuber made a great video covering this situation as well, which I'll link in the description too, and he leads to a bigger conversation to be had about what this could mean for the entire platform going forward, as well as he talks about something that I think is important we mention as well, that if Magnates Media tries to push back and defend himself, fight back against Alex Edson legally, Alex Edson may very well just turn around and sue him. He has shown he is more than willing to do that, and it just seems like he is vaguely alluding to the fact that he would be open to doing that against Magnates Media should he try and defend himself against his claims here. So, just an actual piece of shit. Now, what Scott highlights and something that I'd also like to talk about is what it could mean for the whole platform should this behavior continue. It would mean that if you, let's say, are doing a, video essay on a topic that another channel has covered, you might be at risk of them striking your channel down because you used the same image they used. You were covering the same topic and you may have used the same image, and maybe you just used very standard editing techniques like, TV static effect, or a very common one you see in all video essays these days are the crumpled paper backgrounds. A lot of video essays today use the crumpled paper background. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So should this kind of shit continue, you could very well be next on the chopping block for someone who said, hey, I have a right to use the crumpled paper background. You have lifted my editing technique. This work is too similar to mine. Here's a strike for it. I think it's pretty obvious how that would be absolutely awful to the platform overall. So really the whole thing is terrible. This whole situation is really bad for YouTube entirely. I've only scratched the very tip of this iceberg with how disgusting this whole situation is, so I do encourage you once again to watch the Upper Echelon video as well as Scott Schaefer's video. Mudahar also just posted something about it, and all three of them are far more knowledgeable on all of the nuance to this subject than I am. I just wanted to give a general overview of everything, and I'll just quickly try and cover my own ass before Alex Edson tries to stick his tongue in it. I'm just giving my opinion on everything. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't pass the bar. I can't say for sure if these are fraudulent claims or if it's an alleged abuse of the copyright system. I'm just giving my dumb, stupid caveman brain opinion on it and saying that I think you suck, Alex. I think you are a revolting, stinky piece of dog shit that not even the flies want to be around. That's all. I'm just here to kind of make fun of you and point out a problem here with your behavior. So yeah, here's hoping Magnates Media doesn't lose his channel from all of this absolute mumbo jumbo. That would be extremely upsetting to see. Hoping for the best for him and his channel and a good outcome from this whole situation here. That's really about it. So yeah.